All right, my friends, welcome to episode 121 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I'm the Professor, Larry, at Prof Plays Games on Twitter, and over there is Anthony, the Dev, at Summerspeak on Twitter. How is your Sunday night, man?
Sunday night's going pretty good. Don't have kids are in bed. Haven't really watched any TV. Kind of seen some stuff about the Golden Globes, but that's about it.
Yeah, my wife was telling me a couple things about the Golden Globes.
I heard Oprah gave a really cool speech.
Awesome. Looking forward to seeing that.
I'm sure I'll watch clips and stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because it airs right during prime dinner time and book time with kids. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm not going to watch this. So
right. Well, in this day and age, you can catch clips, like you said, and just watch on demand later. So, I heard a lot of actresses invited activists to sit with them during the Golden Globes.
And I'm sure people wearing black. I know
wearing black. Yep, for the Me Too movement. I think Seth Meyers is hosting, right?
I have no clue.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Seth Meyers. So yeah, looking forward to hearing some things about that. I've been staying away from news for the last 2 weeks just for my sanity, just to kind of cleanse. And it's been really nice, man. Like I don't want to it's a privilege to be like, I don't have to pay attention to this stuff, and I don't want to do that too much, but I do need to recharge my batteries a bit. So it's been nice. I
could see that. There's been some news in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I'm kind of glad to have passed that by a little bit. Yeah. I've heard snippets here and there, and just like, oh my god.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm gonna turn my back a little bit, focusing on some creative endeavors and trying to just be a little more focused at home for a bit before I jump back into the fray.
Yeah, so that totally makes sense.
Yeah, so for our first episode for the new year, we are going to do something that I was listening to on the Kotaku Split Screen podcast. Basically, they make 10 predictions for 2018, and then the winner chooses the game for the loser to play when they tabulate the votes the next year. I thought it'd be kind of a fun way, kind of a fun bet, and we like to do the prediction episodes anyway, so kind of put some stakes to it. And then if we tie, we'll both play the game that the other person wants them to play. And this can be a collaborative process. So if there's a prediction that I make that is just super obvious, and you're like, that's obviously going to happen, so I'll think of a new one. Basically, I'll do the same to you. We can tweak these. And then once we get through that, we'll talk about what we're playing. I've been playing a little bit this week, so I got a couple of things to say, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you've been playing. So, anything that you want to state before we get on to the predictions?
No, let's get some predictions going. Let's see how wrong we can be.
Oh God, I suspect that whoever wins will win with like 3 points or something. And some of them are like hopes more than predictions, I guess. I tried to keep them on predictions, but at least one of them is like, please do this thing.
It's true.
So, yeah. My first prediction is that the Game Boy Classic is announced, and I think that's too easy. So what I think the Game Boy Classic is going to be is that it features Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games all in the same system.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's not just going to be, I don't think it's going to be a straight Game Boy Classic. I think they're going to include the whole Game Boy line. Just to make it a little more specific.
I can see that. I could see them doing a Game Boy and Game Boy Color, and then saving the Advance for later. Personally.
Yeah.
Just for making money.
Of course.
Because Game Boy and Game Boy Color are roughly the same hardware.
Right.
The Advance is roughly Super Nintendo hardware.
Yeah.
I could just keep them. I could see them just choosing to keep those separated. But we shall see. I'm curious if there's going to be any more classics.
Yeah, I don't know if they would do any more console classics, but I think there's probably a handheld coming. Maybe two. I mean, a Game Boy Advance classic, I would be all over. I would like that very much.
I guess we'll know by the holiday season.
Yeah, we'll know
it's
this
going to
happen.
For sure. Yeah, so we'll put it there.
Well, I know people are frothing at the mouth for this supposed direct that's coming up this next week.
It could be anything. I saw the thing I sent you, which is now been debunked as fake. But whatever. You can just tell people are so excited. They want all their streaming services on the Switch. They want the virtual console subscription thing now. They want
themes
and everything. I'm just like, pretty sure it's not going to be everything, but I bet it's going to be some of that.
Well, it was like a laundry list of what things. Usually, when a leak is like everything, someone's wish list, like this is totally fake.
Yeah,
especially
it's going to be some of that. I don't think it's the virtual console yet.
No, I think that's too early.
Yeah,
and I just would laugh if there is a direct, it's going to be, here are 10 indie games coming to the Switch, which is great, but it's not what people are looking for right now. People are thinking it's going to be like E3 in January, and it's just like setting themselves up for some disappointment.
It's true. So my first prediction, whatever Call of Duty 2018 is going to be, it's going to have Battle Royale. That will be its featured multiplayer mode.
I think you're gonna get points for that.
Specifically Call of Duty, though.
Yeah, I think that you're onto something there, and I think that I would be surprised if it's not a ton of.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot.
shooters.
I still think it's kind of I don't know if Activision will want to put it there in Call of Duty.
It just seems like low hanging fruit.
It could be.
Yeah. For
I mean, theoretically, they could just do it as a DLC for the current Call of Duty.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I wonder. If
but I'm saying it won't be. They'll just hold it and they'll do it as a more featured thing in the next.
So you think
next year?
We think we'll see it first in Call of Duty with their Call of Duty 2018.
That's right. Yes.
Okay, makes sense. My second prediction is that Sony announces a PS1 classic in the vein of the NES or Super Nintendo classic. Little plastic looking, look like the PlayStation 1 with 20, 25 games on it.
I could
just plug and play HDMI.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it'd have to have a beefy hard drive in it, a little beefy SSD, because none of those games are small.
Yeah, how big? I don't know.
They're CD size.
So 650 megs?
I mean, think Final Fantasy VII was 4 discs.
Oh.
Or 3 discs.
Wish I had known that before I made this prediction.
Some of them are big, like Final Fantasy Tactics was 1 disc. A lot of them are 1 disc, and that would range between... honestly, you have to think most of them are kind of bigger, probably 100 megs or more, because the thing with PlayStation was on a disc. They could include audio, a lot of audio on a CD, music, and they could include cutscenes.
Right.
The game data wasn't the huge part. It was all this extra stuff around it. But I could totally see them putting in like a 32 gig SSD in there, and then like 20 games.
Yeah, see, I think that's a headwind against this prediction, and also the fact that they sell PS1 classics on Vita, at least right now. They have a mechanism for selling them, but then the Nintendo has that virtual console too, and they still did these things. Yeah. So I think out of all the PlayStation systems, I think the PS1 would get that same nostalgia that the SNES Classic did. So
I agree. This kind of goes hand in hand with one that I had. I think Sony will announce a new companion handheld. So I use companion because I don't feel like it will be full featured as, say, a Vita.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing how successful the Switch has been, they will put something else out that can that is truly just focused on the remote play.
So with like buttons and sticks and everything?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I think they're going to do something because clearly people want to take these games on the go.
Right.
And I don't think they want to... I can't see them wanting to spin up another platform to compete with the PS4.
Right. And the comments they made said that they're not interested in the mobile space. And your prediction wouldn't be mobile space. It would be like, just remote play. So
and cut the cost down quite a bit. So it wouldn't be, what's a Vita, $200 still, if you can find it?
I don't know, actually. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe less than that. But basically, I'm just like, cut out it playing games itself. Like, that's not what it's for.
It's just a streaming device.
It's a streaming device, very basic hardware.
Well, it cut the price down considerably, considering you wouldn't need that proprietary memory stick, which is goddamn expensive for the Vita.
So that's my prediction, that they'll want to get into that space a little bit.
Well, I hope they do, man. Playing Persona 5 on my Vita has been rad.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh my god! Like, I forgot that I can remote play with this thing, and so my wife can watch, whatever she wants to watch. We both want to kind of veg out when the kid's asleep, and hers is usually some sort of TV show, and mine's like playing a video game. Yeah. So usually I want to play my PS4, and we only have one TV, so obviously there's a conflict. So it's like, I'll just do it on my Vita, and it's been rad. All right, my third prediction. You'll have to let me know if this one's too easy. I think Counter-Strike Battlegrounds is officially revealed and released in 2018.
I don't think so.
You don't think that's going to happen? Or
no, I don't think it. I think it's a fine one because I don't know if that will happen or not.
Okay. Yeah, I think it will.
It's Valve, for one.
Yeah, exactly.
And who knows what they're going to do. Overall, like, do they even want to go in this space right now? Like, it took them forever even to do, like, Dota 2.
Yeah.
Like, years
after League.
Not quick to react. They're not quick to react at all. So, I could see them doing a Battle Royale type game. For me, I don't think they'll do it this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will be another year or two, if they're even... That's what they want to make. There's not a lot of game teams at Valve. Most of it's Steam. So
right. Yeah, I'm going to stick with it, though. I'm going to say revealed and released this year.
Okay.
They're going to call it something. Obviously not. Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Because there's Paladins Battlegrounds now.
Of course.
Jesus. All right. That's my third prediction.
My third is Blizzard will announce Diablo 4 at BlizzCon this year.
Oh, man, I hope you're right.
I hope I'm right. And I mean, this can be... No, I don't... I will argue this is not a guaranteed at all.
No, hell no.
It's Blizzard, and this is like a hopeful wish. And to get more specific, I think it's going to be... Well, it's going to keep all the loot, and it's still going to be an RPG. I think it's going to be drastically different than a Diablo we've seen before. I think it's going to play differently.
In what direction do you think? Like, you don't know.
Don't know. I feel like why would they necessarily just... I'm like, what's the next evolution of this type of genre that isn't just Diablo 3 but looks prettier?
Right.
With different classes. I feel like it might be more... I hate to say this, Souls-like combat.
That'd be actually...
Like, can they merge the two together so that the combat is more meaningful?
Right.
And more like a third-person kind of action RPG? But still have all the loot and, like, the visuals of...
Right.
Like, Blizzard is known for simplifying genres and, like, doing that, like, high watermark of, like, how do you onboard people into a genre, like a hardcore genre. So, I think Diablo, fits. Like, the theme, the look of everything. So that's my... They will announce D4 this year at BlizzCon, and it won't look like the Diablos we've known before.
I like it. I hope that's true. I think it'd be a lot of fun, and it reminds me that I need to go back and play the Necromancer DLC for Diablo 3.
It's fun.
I have not touched Diablo in quite a while. So much to play.
It's always there.
Yeah, that's true. My next prediction is that at least one 3DS game is going to be ported to the Switch.
Oh.
And it could be Samus Returns. It could be... There was a rumor recently about Link to the Past, which is probably not true. It's probably going to be a Nintendo Select title. But I think they're going to port a 3DS game to the Switch. They've been porting Wii U games, so putting the 3DS games on there too is just going to be a signal that this is going to be their unified platform moving forward.
I can see that.
Yeah, I think that's... I think it's going to happen.
My next one is Nintendo will release a new Smash Brothers game for the Switch this year.
Not a port, but...
not a port.
Okay.
Not a port. This year, they are going to announce it earlier this year, and it's going to be out by the end of the year.
Man, that would be so
But it's
rad.
not going to be a port. It is going to be a new thing.
Do you think it'll have all the same characters, or we're going to just like rebuild it from scratch and see what we put into it?
I'm sure it will have mainstay characters, but...
Like Cloud not going to make it back, Bayonetta?
Yeah, probably not. Maybe Bayonetta. I could see them bringing Bayonetta back because of Bayonetta 3 being exclusive. Like,
right.
Will they be there at the get-go? I don't know. But I'm thinking that since we haven't heard anything about Smash being ported at all, that they've had enough time that they're just going to be doing a...
Yeah, because it came out in 2014, so
they've known that the Switch is coming, internal development, so they're just like, let's target the next one for Switch, and really this year is wide open for games on Switch. So a Smash Brothers seems really strong, and to sell it even more, don't make it a port, just make it its new thing.
Right. Man, Smash for Wii U and 3DS were so good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. My next prediction actually is about Smash, so I'll just go right into it. It's an indie character is going to be revealed for Smash Brothers for Switch, and my guess is that it's going to be Shovel Knight. I think that the new Smash will have an indie character, and I think it's going to be Shovel Knight.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'd love to see. I think he could have a good.
They made an amiibo. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. So the first third party, or maybe the only. No. Bayonetta has a. Oh, so does Cloud. Cloud.
Now, but I mean,
right.
Let's be honest. Bayonetta and Cloud, not as unknown and small as Shovel Knight.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd love to see Shovel Knight there. I think it's going to happen. Some indie at least, but I particularly think it's going to be Shovel Knight.
I can agree.
All right. On to yours.
I'm going to say that there's going to be no new Assassin's Creed this year.
Mm-hmm.
If there is anything, it will be a standalone expansion
of Origins, like in the way that Brotherhood expanded.
No, kind of. Brotherhood was still, it pushed more as a sequel because of the content. Like it built out Rome specifically.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But I feel like this will be like I don't think they want to have you have to own Origins from the previous year, but it's going to be more than DLC, but less than an expansion.
So you're thinking something like Lost Legacy area?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe that'd be a good one. But just something that's I think they're going to start taking more time between games, but I don't think they want to just miss out completely on releasing nothing. So my thought is it's not going to be a completely new era, new time frame. It's just going to be tide people over for a year, ideally.
I hope they do. I think it's a good idea because you have the engine, you have the everything for this game. Make a smaller bite-sized chunk and sell it. I think people would be interested in that after having played like 80 hours of Origins to jump into like a 15-hour experience.
Yeah. So that's my thought.
I like it. My next prediction is that there's so many Nintendo predictions on my list. Switch is going to win NPD more than Xbox and Sony combined in the next year. So for the next 12 months, Switch will win more than the other two combined, which means it's got to win 7 months.
That was basically on my list anyway, too, as well.
Oh, same one.
So,
okay.
That they're going to win NPD this year.
Yeah.
By a landslide more than anything.
So do you want to differentiate and put a number?
Oh God, I don't know. What they just announced they've done 10 million this year?
Actually, I think was that just Japan? They've outstripped the Wii U already, but that might be just in Japan.
That's just Japan.
Yeah, it's at least.
I think it's 10 million worldwide
that
they've sold this year, and it came out late, and of course it had supply issue.
Right.
I don't know. How much did the PS4 sell in its first year? I don't even remember.
I don't remember. Let's see if we can find out.
I mean, PS4 is at like 50 million consoles.
Oh, PS4 is like 60 something now, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. 20 million in its first year.
Yeah, 20.5. Yep. Well, that's PS4 software unit sales, 20 million.
Oh.
Console sales.
I see something here, 8.5 million units worldwide and released just over a year ago.
Okay. So that's less than the Switch has done.
The Switch has 18.5 in its first year.
Okay.
The Switch has done 10.
Well, the Switch is the fastest selling console in history, US history now.
But they skipped a few months. They did it in 10 months. Or when did Switch come out? March?
March. Mm-hmm.
So they did it in 9 months.
Yeah.
With supply constraints. So I have a feeling in those 9 months, they've sold more units than any of these in 9 months.
Right.
They specifically talked that the PS4 this was before their first holiday. They jumped like 6 million units in just the holiday of their first year.
Right.
So, yeah. I think if you go month to month, the Switch has been the fastest console.
Yep. So in terms of this prediction, how about we put a number of months on? So we both think that it'll win. It
should be
NPD.
12. Yeah, this year.
So you think it'll win all 12?
No.
How many months do you think it'll win?
I'm going to say it's going to win 9 of the 12.
And I say 8.
Okay.
So let me add that to my thing here. 8 months. Okay. All right. My next prediction is, and this is maybe even exactly what the one of the split screen hosts had on theirs, but I've been thinking about this one for a while. So it's not just cribbing from them straight. I also thought about this myself, I promise. A AAA game will be released this year with a standard edition that will cost more than $60 and include no microtransactions. So some AAA game this year might come out for $70.
Yep, I can see that.
That's my guess, and I don't know who it's going to be. Who's going to be brave enough to do that?
One of the bigger publishers will, just to try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they always discount quickly if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, exactly. They can, but I mean, I think the big publishers will want to experiment with it and see what the market can handle. So yeah, I think that's about right. I think the next prediction is that there will be something like the ESRB, maybe even the ESRB, that's going to step in and monitor and control loot boxes.
I hope so.
I don't know it, but I have a feeling that the industry is going to get together and crack down on it, at least in some way, before it hits major litigation.
And everyone will just look to EA and say, thanks for killing our golden goose.
Pretty much. But I think that's my prediction that will happen this year. If it doesn't, loot boxes are screwed anyway. So, because we will get litigation.
Yeah. In terms of like letting kids gamble litigation?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
They're going to bring it out that you have this stuff inside games that kids are playing, and it's going to be redefined as gambling. And which will make pretty much everyone stop doing it.
Yep, that makes sense. My next prediction is more of a hope, but if we're going to see it, I hope we're probably going to see it in the next 6 months. There are going to be new Joy-Con released that are ergonomic.
I totally have that one on my list.
Is it yours a hope, or do you think it's going to happen too?
It is not a hope. It is I think this year. You said 6 months. I said within the year, there's going to be radically different shaped Joy-Cons released.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And I don't know if it's going to be GameCube controllers or just, like imagine the edges of a Pro controller, but it's going to be ergonomic and maybe even have some new features, but I'm just going to stick with they're going to feel good in your hand and not just this flat slate kind of thing.
I agree. I think they're just going to, this is the year where I feel like it's time for them to experiment with the Joy-Con shape.
Yeah. Well, it's such a, they always do like special editions of the 2DS, 3DS, whatever.
Exactly.
Do the same thing with the Switch, but you don't have to do it with the hardware. You just do it with, you don't have to do it with the console itself, but do it with the controllers.
Not a prediction, but what if it's tied in with Smash Brothers?
If it is, it's going to be GameCube controller shaped.
Yeah, exactly.
I really do think so.
So, there we go. I have that one too. So
excellent.
I'm down to 2 predictions left.
Me too. I've got 2 as well.
So
go ahead.
Should I go next, or do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. No, go ahead.
So I have, this is a hope, may never happen, and it might be on your list, remastered Mass Effect trilogy.
It's not, but I want it so badly.
This year. My only reason I'm putting this as a prediction is because Andromeda didn't do well.
Yeah.
And they want to wipe that taste out of people's mouths.
As quickly as possible?
Basically. And I feel like if they started working on this when Andromeda started having issues, they can have this out by end of next year.
Oh my god, that'd be a dream.
And just be like, guess what? Here's the Mass Effect you wanted. This will hold you over for at least a couple years while we figure out what we're doing with that franchise.
And that's with like all the DLC too, right?
Yeah, just have it all.
Because
just a trilogy with all of it.
I haven't played any of the DLC, and I really want to play Shadow Broker.
Shadow Broker is very good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good.
Well, I hope of all your predictions, I hope this one's right the most. Because, Peter Moore was the one who's like, no, we're not going to do it because we, want to move forward. But Peter Moore's gone, and they want to salvage.
They're also a giant company beholden to shareholders who want them to make money.
Right. And
this seems to be a guarantee way to make money, especially if it was remastered and on the Switch as well.
Oh my god. If I had that portable, that would be...
Which I'm sure, I'm almost certain it could be on. They had that running on the Wii U.
Right.
They had a Mass Effect 3 port on the Wii U. So, yes, I'm sure that they can have the entire trilogy remastered running on a Switch.
Oh my god. That's... Of anything this year, that's what I want the most. Which is funny because it's an old game, but it's, thank God for you and Brad just hounding me to play that game. My next prediction is a weird one. Let me know if you think this shouldn't count. But I think Sea of Thieves will be Microsoft's best-selling game of 2018 by a large margin.
No, that's fine.
I think it'll outsell Battlegrounds. I think it'll outsell everything. Everything that's on, like, could be considered like exclusive to Microsoft. Yeah. I think Sea of Thieves will just be a runaway hit. I think it's going to hit Twitch and streaming, and people are going to just really fall in love with it.
Okay, I'm okay with that one. And my last prediction is another thing we haven't heard of, but I'm hoping this year. Of course, Nintendo related, because that's where my mind is right now. We will see a new F-Zero.
Oh my god, F-Zero. Damn.
It was what I was thinking of, like, what properties and genres do they still need on Switch? Especially first party. And they don't have a good first party, like, they have Mario Kart as, like, the like, arcadey racing, like, family racing, but they don't really have, like, I'm like, what's Nintendo's racing game? Like,
right.
F-Zero. I mean, what's the last one that they put out? The GameCube?
Oh, yeah, it was GX or something on GameCube, I think.
It's time. So it's another one where I feel like this will be announced earlier in the year and come out later in the year. Just as they're mining old properties to give people, like, here's all the games that you love now back on a Nintendo hardware.
I like it, even though I don't think I played a second of F-Zero.
I had it for the Super Nintendo. I don't remember why I bought it for the Super Nintendo. I was a kid, and I remember being in the Toys R Us, and I'm like, I want that game. That's the one I'm going to buy.
And did you regret?
No.
Oh, okay.
At first I did, because it was hard.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, what am I doing? But once I understood it, and like friends back in that age, we started figuring it out, and then we played the crap out of it.
Awesome. Okay, so my last prediction, I crossed out the one that I had because it ended on a negative note, and I don't want to end on a negative note, so I'm going to end on a positive note. I think that we're going to get Super Mario Odyssey DLC announced early. I think we're going to hear about it in the first Direct. And if we don't hear about it in the first Direct, I don't think we're going to hear about it at all. So I think we're going to have some sort of Odyssey DLC. We've talked about it'd be nice if it was Peach. I talked about how it'd be great if it was Luigi. Although I thought about Luigi more, and because Luigi's physics are so different than Mario, you'd kind of have to redesign a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So it could be Peach, it could be Luigi, it could be Captain Toad in some way. So yeah, that's what I think. Some sort of Odyssey linked DLC.
I could see that, but prediction is that it's in the first Direct.
My prediction is that it's announced in the first Direct.
Okay.
So we'll know, I think, pretty soon if there is one next
probably?
week. Yeah, that's the rumor at least. So I think it'll be announced in the first Direct.
Okay. So there we go.
Yeah. So we'll check back in at the beginning of next year and see who wins. And then if I win, you have to play Inside.
Oh, I do need to play that. I really do need to play it.
Yeah, so now you have to save it till next year.
Okay.
And you have to play it by February of 2019.
Okay. Can do. The one I chose is, I think, one that you wouldn't typically look at to play, or it would run you by, but you are really enjoying role-playing games and strategy games right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm saying Shadowrun Dragonfall.
Okay.
Director's Cut.
I think I might have that one.
You might. I don't know.
I'll go check. Dragonfall
but Dragonfall's the specific one, because I feel like that's the best written of the bunch.
Awesome.
Has the best cast. But it's a strategy game, so all the missions are done in a turn-based strategy. So
I thought I had it. I definitely don't. Oh, I wrote Shadowfall. Not Shadowrun Dragonfall Director's Cut. I definitely do have it.
Have you even touched it ever?
Nope. I bought it in 2016 and have not touched it.
There you go. Play it. I think you'll enjoy that one.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to install it right now just to get ready in case I lose at the end of the year.
You have another year. You can wait 3 years from buying it to playing it.
That sounds about right with these your backlog for Steam.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so those are our predictions. We'll check back and see who wins, and if you lose, you still win because you get to play a great game.
I agree. And if we're right, then a lot of cool stuff has happened in the past year.
I know, man. Imagine if we were right on most of our predictions. It would be like the best, better than this year.
It would. It'd be amazing.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Speaking of amazing games, let's talk about what you've been playing this week.
This week, I got gifted XCOM 2 War of the Chosen.
Nice.
So I started XCOM 2 again with War of the Chosen. And I already thought XCOM 2 was a good game. This expansion makes it an incredible game. Like, holy shit, is it a much better game.
So you've already started then?
Oh yeah, I've put in like 8 or 9 hours this weekend on it. I got it middle of the week and finally was able to sit down. I think Friday night I started. really digging into it. And oh yeah, I'm deep into this. It just, I am amazed on how much it adds. Like almost an entire new game. It feels like same premise of XCOM 2, that your aliens have taken over the Earth and you're fighting a guerrilla war against them, but it adds more flavor to the game. It's not nearly as dry. From a design standpoint, XCOM 2 used a lot of timers in its design of like, get to here in this many turns, do your thing. Okay. So it keeps you moving forward. Right. This game actually still has a lot of pressure on you, but they've kind of hidden the timers into mechanics that are actually going on the map. So you want to move forward and progress, but it's not like you have a countdown all the time in the corner.
It's like before this thing blows up or something like that.
Yeah, you have that, or you have stuff of like, oh, you want to go around and mark crates to get picked up, but while you're marking crates, every turn, the enemy Covenant is marking crates. And so you want to stop them from getting their crates, and you want to get more of yours. So it's still a timer. There's still pressure on you, but it's not there's not a clock in the corner.
Right.
It feels more naturally just integrated in with what's going on in the mission. And they do that with a lot of missions now. They add new unit types, tons of new, like, just entire new systems into the game. It's immense.
Well, and you finished XCOM 2, right?
No, I never finished it.
Okay.
I never was able to complete it. I always died.
So it just was a difficulty curve.
Yeah. We'll see if I can manage this one or not, but
yeah,
I'm doing good so far.
I've heard the stuff that I've heard about it is that people like it better than XCOM 2.
Like War of the Chosen?
Yeah, they like War of the Chosen better than the campaign from the XCOM base game, basically.
It's the same campaign. It's just what
they've added to it.
Added to it makes it a much better game.
Right, that's what. So it's basically like Enemy Unknown, right? Where they've added stuff to it and it makes the base game enhanced in some way.
Yeah. Because that's what you do in XCOM. Like, there is kind of a story. You're playing through a story, but it's effectively like, it's meant to be replayable. Because so much of what happens is random as you play through the game. And you're a character in my game.
Am I still alive?
Yes.
Oh my god.
You're a really good one. I think you're a lieutenant now.
Excellent.
You've got a lot of kills under your belt.
Awesome. That's what I like to hear this.
You've been wounded a couple times, but bounce back.
Yeah.
It's working. You're doing a good job.
Excellent. I gotta tell you, when I put you in my game, you died pretty quickly.
Oh, I'm sure.
I need to get back to XCOM because it's fun. I don't know why I bounced off it.
Because it's really stressful.
Yeah, that's probably it.
It's a really stressful game.
Yeah, the stakes are high.
Stakes are high, and the game is constant. The design pattern on it is you're always scraping to get by.
Right.
That's just what it is. You're always going up against stronger forces, but how do you overcome that with the resources you have? Which can get very mentally taxing as you go along. So
right.
I can see why people bounce off the game. It's why I bounce off, like, even playing, while we were going through our predictions, I was playing Darkest Dungeon some.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't...
Just like that.
Exactly like... Darkest Dungeon I find even worse.
Yeah.
Like, well, I really like Darkest Dungeon a lot, but there's a point in time after, like, probably about 6 or 7 hours of playing it into a thing where I'm just like, this is just exhausting and mentally taxing. I'm just getting constantly beat down, barely surviving. I need to do something else.
Man, that is such a good game, though. Oh my god. I'm playing it on the lowest difficulty, though. Like, they added that new low difficulty for probably that particular reason.
Yes.
So I started on that because I've listened to a bunch of PlayStation podcasts. Sid Schumann just loves that game. He's like, it's just brutal. Like,
it is
they
brutal.
Put on the new difficulty, so people should play that one, which I did. Awesome. So XCOM, anything else this week?
Not this week. No, that was basically what I've been playing. That's what I've been putting time into.
Cool. Well, this week I would be playing my 3DS. I wanted to get back to Samus Returns, but I cannot find my charger. So I have a dead 3DS right now. And I don't know where it is at all. I have the 3DS, but I do not have the charger. So this week, first of all, Persona 5. I've put another 3 hours into that game. I'm in I'm back in the palace, Kamoshida's palace, after Shiho jumped, basically.
Right.
Spoilers, I guess, but this is way early game. So Shiho jumps, and then I go back into the Shadow Realm or whatever it's called to attack Kamoshida to steal his treasure, basically. And then kind of tagged along for the ride.
Right, because
well, she wants to get back at Kamoshida.
Oh yeah.
Shiho. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now. I'm in that castle, taking down a couple of guards, but I saved. I got to the safe room, saved, and then turned it off.
Yeah, good plan.
So I don't know how long that palace is.
Spoilers for you. You're not. The next part you do with this time isn't your full infiltration into the palace.
Oh, okay. So
the palace is actually really this is the thing that some people do have complaints of the game, is that the dungeons are really big.
Right.
And you're not expected to do it all in one go, though. So.
Okay. So then am I going to get the treasure during this one and then go back out?
No.
Okay.
You're going to come back out before that point.
Okay.
And then there'll be some more stuff. You'll know whenever it's time to go for the treasure, because you'll get a timer. Basically, you'll have X number of days to finish this to get the treasure, to send the calling, do the whole process, the whole heist.
Does that include you can spend 2 days being social with people and building up links and then go in or something?
You'll have to balance your time. You'll have a lot of time, and then that's where the pressure comes on of okay, when do I need to go into the palace? How far do I need to make it in the palace so that I can make sure that I have time to go back in again to finish it, because you have to, and you'll see it. It's all laid out. So you're still technically in the tutorial. You haven't. It's weird because the game doesn't necessarily feel as tutorial as you go along, but you're still in it. It's still going to be introducing. There's still mechanics that you're going to be introduced. Once you finish this palace run, and then I think just a few more days of interaction with people, then you'll get the okay. Here is the flow of the full game. You have limited time. Go.
Well, that's interesting because it does take so long. I feel like this whole palace is the tutorial. Until I take down Kamoshida somehow, if that happens, that's the end of the tutorial.
I can kind of see that. Yes, roughly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's long. That seems like it's gonna be a 10-hour tutorial.
It is.
Yeah.
But I don't really feel like it's not tutorial.
No, it doesn't feel like. It feels like I'm playing the game.
Yeah, they just introduce mechanics as you go along.
Right.
The only really big tutorial filling part was the first time you went in.
Yeah.
And then they say guess what? You understand going here now. Fighting. You can see your persona. Go.
Man, it's so good. It's perfect for remote play too, because there's no Twitch anything. It's just turn-based.
Oh
yeah. So even if there's lag, if my wife's streaming a show or something, it doesn't affect the gameplay at all.
No, not at all.
Oh god,
it'll be interesting as you play it more and more, because it's winning. It was funny because I was reading on. Do you read Reset Era forums at all?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So on there, they were talking about Persona 5 a bit on one of the things about how it's getting some awards and it's always up there in the top, but it's not winning best ofs.
Right.
And it's clear, I love the game, but there is certain, I would say, problematic content.
Yeah.
Which people are it's a certain level of, I would say, it's very Japanese. And there are certain things that they're just that culturally just are very insensitive about. And they're yeah, it totally has that. I love the game, but there are definitely parts where I'm cringe a little bit still.
Something about transphobia or homophobia.
I don't know where the transphobia part is.
Mm-hmm.
I can't off the top of my head can't remember that point where they do that. Catherine definitely does.
Yeah.
Previous Atlas games and from the producers.
Right.
I don't know where it is in
but someone said it was in Persona, right?
They did, and I saw something where someone said that, and I just don't know where it is, and I haven't dug up specifically because I don't even think, I could be wrong. I just didn't even think there's a trans character in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember people talking about it.
Right.
So, mostly the problematic content, I would say, on my side is it has its decent male gaze going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
At specific times, not all the time, but sometimes you're yep, okay. I just have to kind of roll my eyes and go, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a thing. I also know that that's pretty standard in most anime-inspired games.
Yeah, look at Nier.
Oh my god. Okay. That's one where I'm just like, yeah, totally is. And again, you're just like, yep, okay, that's where we're at. That's where Japan's at. Cool.
Yeah. Yes, I think it's
Persona
a little
5's not that bad, but
yeah, you're not blowing up your skirt and walking around in your underwear.
No. There are some costumes that are a little tight, but
yeah, right.
You'll get past some of that. There's definitely one character interaction confidant that you'll meet that I'm very curious on what your take's going to be as you go on with it.
Excellent. Do you have any suggestions for me in terms of who I should be like prioritizing my confidant levels with? And I haven't met most people obviously, but just to keep in the back of my mind, like if I have an opportunity for someone, who should I latch onto?
No, not really, because you kind of have to balance it out towards the end. There was definitely some that I neglected, but I would say at least getting your like main party up to like 2. I think 2 is where you want them. Because then that's where you can chain off them.
Right.
And that's really important.
Do I have to hang out with Ryuji the whole game?
No, I mean, well, you don't have to, but you should at least hang out with him some to get him.
Oh, okay.
I think I got him up to... I didn't get everyone to 10 before beating the game. Like, that was one of the things. If you do it perfectly, there's a guide out there that shows you exactly what you should be doing every day if you want to, like, max everything out by the end of the game.
Right. I probably already fucked that up, so...
Oh, yeah. It's super... Actually, you probably haven't yet.
Oh, okay.
I think you're at the point... I think once you finish where you are at now, then that really becomes very important about, like, where you're spending your activities, your time.
Right. And the hangout spots and choosing the right spot for the right people and whatever.
Yep. Yeah. And do you hang out with someone or do you go to, like, the library and read a book and... things like that. It's insane.
There's something about this game though. Like I kind of flippantly mentioned like I'd be happy if I played Persona 5 the whole year because it's a 100-hour experience. Yeah. And I'm getting a couple hours a week to play. I still feel that way. Like if it's the only game I play this year, I think I'll probably be pretty happy.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
And like I said, I did listen to the that best music on the Bombcast thing.
Yeah.
And they do spoil, the last boss.
Oh yeah, that's why I was saying. Like, I'm pretty sure I know who the last boss is, and it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't ruin. I don't really care about spoilers.
Mostly, it's kind of a weird thing that I'm like, okay, yeah, that's kind of where the game ends, but isn't that where all JRPGs end, basically?
Right. Yeah. And if you're trying to like take it to the ultimate power, that's it.
Yeah.
But did you listen to the best of?
I didn't because that was. How many hours was that? 4? 5?
Oh, the best of the year was probably 3.5 to 4, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, I'm curious if you feel the same way that I did, yeah. It was good, and I listened to all of it. I listened to all 26 hours of it. And, there's 2 that I skipped, like best story moment. I didn't want to spoil everything from the year, so.
EA's Hot Mess was pretty fun.
Oh my god, that was really funny. I liked Mario's best capture and things like that. But actually, Persona 5 was not the only game that I played this month. God damn it.
Well, this week. It's this year.
Oh, that's
true.
2018.
These are the only games you've played this year.
Yeah, only games I played this year, this month, and this week. The other one I played was, I just got it from Gamefly in the mail. It's Star Wars Battlefront 2. I'm probably an hour into the campaign. It looks great. It is a corridor shooter.
Yeah.
And the writing is just not very good. I think there's some interesting things that you do, at least in the opening sequence, between you're basically controlling Iden Versio's droid for a while, and then you are her. I like that first sequence a lot, and then you go to Endor, and it's just like, shoot, go here, shoot, go there, shoot, go here, shoot. I'm glad it's 5 hours. I don't think it's... Like if this is from what I've heard, the part with Iden Versio is the high point, and if this is the high point, yeah,
I know it shifts between characters a couple times.
Exactly.
But you're Iden multiple times through the game,
right?
So.
Yeah, but I like her as a character. I think that I think you know what the twist is.
Oh, I know what the twist is, and I'm actually disappointed in the twist.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'm just like, of course, that's all you guys can come up with for a story.
Right, which is disappointing because, Walt Williams did Spec Ops: The Line, did some other games. Yeah. Like, he got a pretty good pedigree. Mitch Dyer, not so much, but it just comes across as fan fiction, apparently. I'm looking forward to making my own opinions, but that's what I've heard so far. But on the second mission, you're battling on Endor, and then you look up and you see the Death Star. Death Star? Is that right?
Yeah, Death Star 2.
Blow up. Yeah, Death Star 2 blow up. And, like, the reaction to that is just so flat and weird. It's just like, what? So it's not great writing. Right. Sorry, guys. It's really not. So, yeah, that's what I've been playing this week, this month, and this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you'll finish up Battlefront pretty quickly, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm going to finish it this week. And then I was perusing the trophy list because a couple popped while I was doing my campaign run. And there's some pretty easy trophies for multiplayer. So I'm probably going to pop into multiplayer and pop some gold and silver trophies before I turn it back. But I'll probably play it this week and then turn it back.
Nice.
But, it's okay. I think you should get it from Redbox if you're interested in the story at all. Or
I really should. I mean, I walk by my work. There's a grocery store that has a Redbox kiosk in it.
Yeah, it's a $5 campaign.
Pop in there and just rent it for a weekend.
Yeah, and you would get through it 2 sittings, or you probably get through in 1 sitting. But just do it for the weekend, $6, and you're good. Because you don't care about multiplayer.
Nope.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm playing. Hopefully this week I'll find my 3DS charger and maybe boot that back up. But it'll probably be Persona 5 and Star Wars this week for me.
Not a bad combination.
Nah, pretty good. So everyone, thanks again. This is episode 121 where we made some predictions and hopefully they'll all come true. Next week, I assume, if the rumors are true, you and I will be discussing the Nintendo Direct that is supposed to be happening on the 11th. I hope so, but I suspect if you go into the Nintendo Switch subreddit after the Direct, you will see a lot of disappointment.
Don't read the comments. Never read the comments.
That's a really good policy.
Stay away from it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining me tonight, Anthony, and thanks everyone for listening. Again, I'm Prof Plays Games on Twitter. He's SummerSpeak on Twitter, and we will see you all next week.
All right. Night, everyone.
Night, folks.